Hello guys, I'm Miguel Sanchez. Thank you for coming and welcome to another episode of The World of Blocks. Woohoo! Alright, so, yes, today we're going to go through a very long chapter in Doubled Yet Divided, but don't you worry, because we're going to still get to this together in one episode. So, yes, get ready. You are definitely ready for what you're about to see here on The World of Blocks. It's happening right now. So, yes, let's go. For those who have seen a previous episode, which was Doubled Yet Divided, Chapter 1, you added up with who? I'll leave a link to it down below on the top right corner of your screen. The episode was right there for you to watch. But now, no more fooling around. Let's not waste any more of your time here. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. You ready? Good. Let's get started. We're on Doubled Yet Divided as we continue with Chapter 2, Unlikely Friends. So, believe it. This is going to be one hell of a story you are sure to be bound on. And I know we can get through this if we use our minds together. So, if you're ready, good. Because we got to give credit to Infinite Sanity Pit on TBR. He was the one who created all of this, so thank you Infinite Sanity Pit for the creation of the series. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave it down below in the video description. Thank you Infinite Sanity Pit for the creation of the series. Oh, final thing. Warning, Lottery Plus is a property of Blue Zoo Animation Studios, Outlaws Limited, and the BBC. Yes, it is the British Broadcasting Corporation. No copyright infringement is intended. I own nothing. You have been warned. With all that said, enjoy the story, everyone. The World of Blocks, Doubled Yet Divided, Chapter 2, Unlikely Friends. The new 16 was wandering Neverland, not having a clue what to do with herself. All she knew was that the two eights that she was made up of were really talkative, as she could hear voices clearly. Listen, whatever you do, don't take Otonari's advice, Octoblock begged. He doesn't have your best interests in mind. He only wants to turn you into a troublemaker like him. Don't listen to that guy, shouted Otonari. He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm going to lead you down the path of rocks. Oh, come off it. You come off it. You, Infinity. Octoblock growled in frustration. The 16 sighed, knowing that having these two in her head wasn't going to be easy. Otonari continued. Oh, alright, listen up, big girl. I've got several good reasons why you should just walk away. Reason number one, you saw that guy. He's got eyelashes. We've been through this. It's a mess, and you know it, right? And you're pink. So are you. I make it work. How do I get you guys out of my head? The 16 yelled out in frustration. You can't, Otonari said bluntly. Might as well get used to it. Or maybe we could stop our petty arguing, said Octoblock. Otonari simply scoffed at him. It was then that the 16 realized it was nighttime, and she had no idea where she was. She turned around, and to her astonishment, she saw that behind her, it was still daytime. What kind of place had she just wandered into? Unbeknownst to her, the 16th shout had been heard by one of the inhabitants of this land. He readied his scorpion tail as he went to investigate. When he saw what appeared to be 16 wearing some new accessories, he calmed down, thinking this was the normal version of her. Oh, hello. Hello, 16. Hello, 16, he greeted. I see you got a new style. Huh? Who are you? Asked the 16. Scorpio was confused. I'm Scorpio. We've met before. Do you not remember me? The idea of being forgotten annoyed him a little. He was a blogger who wanted to stick with people's minds. I was just formed today, the 16 explained. I'm completely new. Oh, Scorpio said in understanding that he realized something about her colors. That shade of green was very familiar, and his tail instinctively rose up as he asked, Who made you? Octoblock and Otonari, said the 16 answered. And Scorpio's eyes widened. You're made from Otonari? His mind immediately jumped to the conclusion that Otonari had added up with his nemesis for malicious purposes. Despite being a self-proclaimed anti-hero, he couldn't let a fellow superpowered block be used for whatever horrible evil scheme his nemesis had planned. Suddenly, Scorpio lunged at the 16 with his glowing stinger, and the number block ran away in fear, thinking that he wanted to hurt or even kill her. In reality, Scorpio just wanted to separate the two eights, but he was not ready to. But he was not one to give an explanation before taking action. The 16 ran out of sight, but Scorpio was going to fight her and take her apart no matter what. After all, he was still a hero who had a duty to protect Infidia, even if he played by his own rules. XXX. The 16 found herself in a land where the plants were all red. She was too scared to stop running, but she was out of breath and had to take a break. Worried for her safety, she turned to her two aides for advice. "What do I do now?" she asked. It looks like that Scorpio. It looks like that Scorpio guy wants to kill me." "That can't be the case," said Autoblock. "He's a hero, too. He probably just wants to separate me and Antonati." Please let him. Antonati begged, but the 16 didn't want to be split apart so soon. "Is there a way to go faster?" "Yes," replied Autoblock. "You're in a square shape, so you can use your rays." The 16 closed her eyes and focused on Antonati's instructions, and within seconds, she was flying around with her rays. "Awesome!" she exclaimed, momentarily forgetting about the perceived danger she was in. That is, until a horrified voice called out, "What have you done to my grass?" The 16 turned to see a red rectangular block staring in horror at the spot beneath her. Looking down, the 16 realized that she had accidentally burned a bit of the grass with her rays. "Oh, sorry about that," apologized the 16, landing back down to the ground. "It was just, I just learned to use my rays for the first time." But the red block wasn't listening. "You'll pay for this!" she shouted. Terrified, the 16 blasted up with her rays, leaving the red block behind on the ground. Up so high in the air, 16 could see all the vast lands of Infidia. There were so many colors and locations, and she could faintly see the movement of all the blocks below. Enjoying this feeling of flight, but worried about her pursuers, she flew around, looking for a place to hide. Eventually, she landed in front of a building with a neon sign that read "Rainbow," with each letter being a different color of the rainbow. Thinking that this would be a good place to stay for the time being, she went inside. There were tables scattered around, and drinks were being served at the counter. The 16 went to find a seat, passing by a little paintbrushy and number blob sitting on the counter. "I swear that the intentions are blocks," the paintbrushy complained. "It seems that the we done blocks get no respect." "Yeah, I fear for you," the number blob replied before taking a sip from his drink with a twisty straw. They couldn't even get higher seats for us," the paintbrushy lamented before downing his tiny shot glass. The 16 took a seat at the counter. Sitting next to her was a violet block with a robe, cape, and crown. Hi there," he grunted. 16, right? I'm a 16, but not the 16. "Oh, then who made you?" Remembering how Scorpio had reacted when she'd given the answer to him, she decided to try dodging the question. "Oh, nobody." The violet block gave her a suspicious glance. You had to have been made by other number blocks. That's just how addition works. I'd rather not talk about it. Fine. I'm fine, by the way." He suddenly stood up on his chair and struck a pose, holding his wand out. "And I'm the Wizard King of Colorland!" "Sit back down!" scolded the bartender, who was a coffee brown color block. Violet sheepishly obeyed. It's nice to have somebody new to talk here," said the so-called wizard continued. This guy's being a real sad sack. He pointed to the block on the opposite side of him, who was dark red, with golden wing feathers and a gladiator helmet. To the 16's surprise and curiosity, he appeared to be a ghost. I was a mighty empire once, he slurred out, having clearly had several drinks by now. I was accompanied by all of Europe. My people were masters of battle and the arts, and then what happened? A bunch of barbarians took my armies in. It's not fair, I tell you. Violet glared at him with an annoyed expression. I think that's enough Blockhardy rum for you. At the table in the corner of the room, a certain pink and yellow element block was watching the 16 in curiosity, very interested in this new version of her number block friend. Then the doors to the rainbow opened, and to the 16's relief, the block who walked in was not one of her pursuers, but a little light purple block wearing a mailman's hat and carrying a mailbag. He got up on the chair next to the 16 and smiled at her. Hello, you're 16, right? I'm a different 16. Okay. Oh, cool. I'm Tantalum. I'm just passing through Cuddleland on my mailman duties, and I thought for a drink. He turned to the bartender. One color cola, please. The 16 begged to relax. Glad to have found some friendly faces. This was short-lived, as the doors soon swung open again. On this side, Scorpio entered. Everybody, get away from that 16! He shouted. A is being kept in there by Octonaughty! Everybody in the bar turned to look at Scorpio, shocked by what he just said. The 16 began to panic. Stay calm, Octoblock said reassuringly. Just tell the truth of how you came to be. No, not in front of all these people, Octonaughty begged, but it seemed to be the only way out of the situation. She stood up, shaking with nervousness, but trying to steel herself. Listen, this is a misunderstanding. Octonaughty added up with Octoblock by accident. Are you telling the truth? Are you really telling the truth? Scorpio narrowed his eyes further in suspicion. That could be Octonaughty speaking. You know what? Spoke Octoblock's voice. I'm going to take matters into my own tentacles. With that, the 16 split apart, and everybody instantly became wary of Octonaughty, with some blocks ducking underneath their tables to avoid his gaze. Violet rolled his eyes. Come on! He's the least threatening villain in NVIDIA. This earned him a whack from a green tentacle. You got it all wrong. You've got it all wrong, A assured Scorpio. We collided by complete accident, and Octonaughty doesn't even want to be part of that 16. You bet I don't. Octonaughty tried to leave, but the A grabbed one of his tentacles in to stop him. The 16 pulled herself back together as Scorpio calmed down. Well, that was unexpected. Scorpio was dumbfounded. I just never thought something like this would happen. Now that everybody in the raid bar knew who the 16 was made up of, they were very curious about her. Tantalum got out of his seat and walked over to her, his eyes wide with interest. If you're made up of a hero and a villain, then are you good or evil? He asked. Violet had come up next to him, wondering the exact same thing. I honestly don't know, admitted the 16, but I can hear the two of them trying to sway me both ways. What should we call you then? Asked Violet. The 16 hadn't thought of this. A negative adjective such as terrible or sinister wouldn't fit with someone who was only half evil, So, what word would be appropriate? Just then, the pink and yellow block from the corner walked up to the 16. I don't care. I don't care about how good or evil you are, she said. I'm just super happy to meet another 16. I'm fun. And me and the core 16 are party buddies. Nice to meet you, greeted the 16. Can you give me a name? Fun. Fun. A fun thought about this. It should start with an S. That's for certain. Super, suggested Tantalo. Nah, declared the 16. Strong, Violet put out. Squares like me are strong, but that still doesn't feel right. Sanguine! Shouted Rome, who was now definitely drunk and floating next to Violet. When everyone stared at him in confusion, he clarified with, "It means confident." Isn't there a more common word we can use? Just then, an idea popped into Fun's mind. Sensational! The 16 gasped with delight. Yes, that's perfect! Sensational 16 it is! The newly christened Sensational 16 now felt happy and confident, realizing that she was already making a group of friends. Then the red block from earlier burst through the doors of the rainbow, still fuming with anger. You still need to pay for burning my grass, she shouted. Sensational 16's new friends returned to her for an explanation. I had a little accident with my rays. XXX. Meanwhile, in October's part of Motherland, the Vanadium was working on something special for the Block's Haunted Mansion attraction. It had been getting a lot of attention from various blocks lately, and October felt that it could use something new to spice things up. With October's design input, Vanadium had created 13 number block animatronics, each with its own features to give visitors the most sufficient scares possible. Awesome! Exclaimed October while looking at the finished products. These will scare the souls right out of everybody who comes here. Thanks, Vanadium. No problem, replied the Keblock. Just one concern, said October. These are going to come to life and start killing people, right? Nope. I made sure their AI wasn't advanced enough for that. As Vanadium continued to chat with the Block about the animatronics' different features and where in the mansion they should each be placed, none of them noticed the 13 souls floating outside the window. Those bodies will look perfect for us, Tedor whispered, eyeing each of the animatronics. Then what are we waiting for? Asked Smiley, who was red and always had a grin full of sharp teeth. Let's get at those things! The souls made themselves invisible and silently floated in, each of them choosing an animatronic to inhabit. The robots suddenly came to life, startling October and Vanadium. You didn't activate them yet, October pointed out. No, Vanadium was afraid for a second, then remembered that this place was legitimately haunted. Oh, I get it. Some of those ghosts of yours aren't just playing a trick on us. October laughed, then walked over to the two, which resembled an owl. All right, fellas, you can come out. You can come out there. Then he noticed something strange. Why do you all have negative numberlings? The animatronics did indeed now have numberlings with minus signs next to them. The -2, which was being inhabited by the soul known as Malthy, graded at October. It's because we answered to negative infinity. And right before October could respond, the Malthy took a large bite out of the top of his head, causing him to fall backwards. Vanadium screamed and tried to escape, but Mummy Cat, the green soul who had possessed a bandaged up 11 cat. Look at the bandaged up 11 with a cattail, grabbed him and killed him, taking his soul and putting it inside one of his blocks. But Balthus did the same for October's soul, and Tenor, who had possessed a brown one with a red bow tie, smiled at his companions. This is excellent. These bodies will allow us to store souls easily. Each spot of the entrance to the mansion, and let the others outside. Let's spread out and get as many souls as possible for negative infinity. With those words, the animatronics were off. The fall of Ophidia had just begun. To be continued. Guys, it's over 21 minutes and counting, and we are done. A 21-minute video, but that's the end of the video for today. That's it. It's over. Chapter 2 is done, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the end of today's episode of the Word Blogs. Thank you all so much for watching. Go check out the Ashford Journal Day 94. If you want to go check it out, the link will be on the top of the screen. Also, make sure you go check out Moshi Monster Spike, 40 episodes dropping very, very soon. Plus, an all-new episode of Savoring Kid Origins later on at night. But now, all these ones come to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Miguel Session yourself, and I will see you tomorrow with another new episode of The World of Blocks. Join me next time for The World of Blocks as we continue Double Yet Divided with Chapter 3, A Great Sleep Forward. So, the 16 got its official name, Sensational 16, ladies and gentlemen. So, what's going to happen with Onto Block tonight and the new villain, Sensational 16? Is that the new half hero, half villain, Sensational 16? We'll soon find out right here on The World of Blocks. So we'll see you guys there. We'll see you guys tomorrow for W Divided Chapter 3, A Great Sleep Forward, right here on The World of Blocks. Until then, I'm Miguel Sessions, reminding you to please leave a like, share this video with your friends, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on notifications to never miss a new video. Please subscribe to notifications to not miss another new video from me as we're on the road to 400 subscribers. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to today. I'm Miguel Sessions. I love you all so much. Peace out. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Laters!